Good morning. Thank you very much all for joining the session today. Um, I'd like to introduce myself, Michael Conway of Renaissance. And today's session, I'm delighted to be joined by Viral Vora, who's UK&I Distribution Manager for Hornetsecurity. And the session today is called Checkmate in 4 Moves, how the Hornetsecurity platform neutralizes cyber criminals. Um, and what we want to do in terms of a little bit of housekeeping for today's session. Uh, the session is being recorded. There are a number of people who are unable to attend who would like to get hold of the session. So it will be made available after the session as a full recorded session. So indeed, you're welcome to share it with any colleagues or any people you think may be of interest to as well. Um, what we want to do really importantly is to make this as interactive as possible so that we actually answer the questions. We bring it to give you the most value that you can possibly get out of it. So if you have any questions, please enter them into the chat or send them directly to myself, and then we can take those questions. We'll do Q&A at the end. Beryl has quite a number of slides to go through, and he assures me that he'll be reasonably quick with them. So there's quite a lot of content in them, but I think you'll find that afterwards, when you get these slides and you get the recording, you'll actually find there's an awful lot of content there for your benefit later on also. So without further ado, I'll pass you on to Viral, and thank you very much. But please enter the questions into chat and or Q&A and send them on to myself.
Thank you, Michael. Good morning, everyone. I hope you are having a good day. It's nice and sunny in London. I hope it's the same wherever you guys are. So yes, as Michael has just said, my name is Viral. I look after distribution within Hornet, and today's session is Checkmate in 4 Moves and how the platform can help you, your customers, and so on. So I'll just kick off. So yes, as mentioned, Checkmate in 4 Moves and how our platform neutralizes cyber criminals. So I'll just kick off. So we've got picture the scene. We've got an example here called Freelon, Wings of Technology. They are a supplier in the aviation industry, and the customer here uses Microsoft 365, and we have a chap called Alfred Donald, who's the operations manager, 15 years of experience, has been working at Freelon for all this time, and is very astute colleague, John Smith, who's a cybersecurity manager within the same business. And what he's done is he's implemented Hornetsecurity within this company as such. So I'm just going to give you a little bit of an intake into who we are, what we do. So our flagship product is called Total Protection, 365 Total Protection. We have 4 sets of bundles as such. Of course, we can do this a la carte, or you can go for the buffet, buy individual services, or you can buy this as plans. So the first plan is called Business, Enterprise Backup, and then we have this whole plan for the Compliance Suite, which encompasses everything. But I'll go into more detail as we go along. So, as mentioned, Freelon, Wings of Technology, they're a supplier in the aeronautics industry, international presence. And as mentioned, 2 chaps who work for the business. One is the operations manager, Alfred, and John, who's the cybersecurity manager. But of course, there is always Dr. Rook, the other protagonist in this scenario. So Dr. Rook is a cyber criminal, and what's his whole ethos all about is to grab sensitive data from businesses and then selling it on. As you all are aware, data is very valuable, and after a successful exfiltration, Dr. Rook then can sell the data and so on to a competitor for good money, so on and so forth. So what is he going to be doing? He's going to be trying to hit Freelon and try and grab as much data as he can and get information out of the business and so on. But he's unaware that John has installed Hornetsecurity product into their environment. So I will carry on from there. So what does Dr. Rook do? He identifies credentials in data breaches. He pulls all this information out from dumps, from data dumps, of course, from various different dark web um, websites, brings it across, and that helps him to do a lot of spear phishing attacks and so on and so forth. So as you can see, there are a number of these out on the dark web, and you can pull this information out. You can grab the information. As long as you know how to exfiltrate this information, this is going to give you a lot of data that's right now in the market as such. Sorry. So, as mentioned to you, Telegram is one of them where you can go in, you can get a lot of this sort of data on the dark web. You've got the data logins, bank transfers, so on and so forth. There's a lot of information out there in the market on the dark web that you can try and get out as such. So I'm just giving you a simple example, some of them that are happening right now. Passports, driver's licenses, statements, utility bills, all that sort of personal information is now on the dark web, and it's very, very easy for cyber criminals to get this sort of information. What do you do with this information? That's probably the bigger question here. So I don't know if you guys all know, there is a tool called EvilGenix. You can get this on the GitHub. It is for a novice like me. I've used it in the past, and it's super, super simple to use. And this is a tool that you can use to launch attacks. And as I said, it's easily available on the dark web and the regular web. So what does Dr. Rook do? He uses this, he implements his MFA. You can bypass the MFA using a tool like this as such. So again, same thing. All you do is you just put in the information. This is what I want to do, and it builds it, it deploys it, and it executes it for you. EvilGenix is, I shouldn't be saying this, but a really good product because it's just made it simple for cyber criminals. Of course, it's not good for the normal person, but again, there is stuff out there that you can use, and you can easily launch attacks as such. So what does he do? He's simple. If an attack is using EvilGenix, it's very simple. A few commands. It creates a URL for you. It gives you a 365 login page, which of course gets rerouted back to him. You can get a URL, and all of a sudden you've created a dummy M365 login page, which as soon as you punch your username and password, it gets straight. He gets the information that the cyber attacker, or Dr. Rook in this case, gets your username and password, and he's into your network as such. As I said, get the URL so you can start doing phishing, mishing attacks, and phishing, smishing, and Teams attacks as well as such. So again, simple as few commands. You put it into your username. You enter your password. All of a sudden, the first time round, I've seen this work. The first time round, you'll say, "Oh, your password doesn't work," and then you resubmit it. All of a sudden, when you do that, it gets logged into EvilGenix, and all of a sudden, your details are starting to get populated by the session cookies. So once the cyber attacker's got this information, he's now breached your attack. How long do you think this is going to last? Seconds. So as I said, this is all the data in text mode. You can, from here, they can pick it up, and you've got the session cookies to now. The cyber attacker can go into your company's website, username, password, login, and they're in. So what has he done? He's captured the session token, and what he then does is in a few clicks, he's into your Microsoft 365 environment. And unfortunately, Alfred, who's the operations manager, is not sure about what's going on, but he doesn't even know his credentials have been stolen. Once Dr. Rook's got all this information, has logged in, and he's now got into emails. Don't forget, it's not only emails he can get into. All of a sudden, he can now then get into all the other apps that are being used by the company. And that could be SharePoint, PowerPoint, Teams, anything else that is visible. So what do we do? How do we come in? So this is where it is. It's called the night. Checkmate in 4 moves. First one, the night. So what does Dr. Rook do? Data exfiltration via SharePoint. He can go in, he can um, go into Alfred's documents because he's got access through all kind of documents for a number of years because he's been working at Freelon for so long, and even those that are not accessible to him with many other employees with the word confidential, Dr. Rook can go in, can simply share it with them. As you can see on the right hand side, he can actually go into any SharePoint folder, send it to himself, um, and have a look at it as well. So what happens? We have a product called Permission Manager that exactly stops this from happening. This was, of course, set up by John because he's got the full TP4 bundle. He's installed this within Freelon, and it's a very good real alerting system. As soon as you put in some information that says confidential or anything of that sort, an alert, and if you try and access that document, and if you're not the user who's got rights to that, an alert gets sent straight away to John to say, hey, something is a little bit fishy down here. Someone's trying to open up this document with it, and it's got confidential written all over it. So Permission Manager with its real-time alert picks this up and sends it to the IT manager. As you can see, this is from our control panel that we use for partners. Some of you, of course, our existing partners have this information. You know how this works, but this just lets the site owner or the CISO who sets these shares, you can actually allow them or deny them. And in a few clicks, John, of course, who's the security manager, can protect confidential data from people like Dr. Rook. So it's not going to be going out that far into an attacking. A cyber criminal can get this sort of information as such. Number 2, the tower. So what will Dr. Rook do? He's going to get a little bit annoyed, and then in the body of the email, he's going to be starting to add all this information and try and send it to himself. But this scenario, again, it's not going to work because what happens then is we have a compliance filter built into our platform. And what it does is it then starts looking at words such as shared, confidential, secret, restrictive, anything that is out of the ordinary. It will stop the attacker from sending that email to himself or sharing it out with somebody else. So this then all of a sudden deprives the attacker or the hacker from doing this. So we have this system already in play in our control panel. It stops certain things from getting sent out. It will just block it automatically from our compliance filter as such. Number 3, the queen. As you all know, when an attacker realizes that malicious, so once Dr. Rook has now found out that he can't go anywhere, what he tries to do is starting to delete data that he's got from a compromised account. So Alfred's account, emails, files, SharePoint, whatever there is, he wants to delete it. So as you all are aware, if you start deleting, if you get a compromised attack and the cyber attacker starts deleting stuff, the company can really, really go down really quickly and get paralyzed. But again, because John has installed Hornetsecurity, the TP4 plan, that's not going to happen. So we have a product called 365 total backup. As you can see from the screen, again, this is all visuals that we pull out from our control panel, and all partners get access to that. Of course, down the line, if you guys need any demo on the product, we can definitely give you. But again, the good thing about this is with our total 365 total backup, we provide that. So you can always go back to a restore point and get Alfred's emails back, SharePoint, contacts, whatever there is on this Microsoft account, you can all bring that back. Within 5 or 6 clicks, you've got that information. So you're got a little bit of peace of mind that your data, unfortunately, it has been deleted. You can always pull it back out using our 365 tool as such. And of course, Alfred can come back to work, and he's got all his data as if he never left. So as you can see here, it's just a breakdown. You can go into individual settings, into his inbox. You can decide which options he wants, preview it, do the restore point at a certain date, time, and then you can get all this information back again. Again, as mentioned to you, you can go in, documents, business plans, you can pull all this information out, download it, so it's kind of saved. It's there. You feel a little bit of peace of mind that your data is not being deleted completely, and the company's then struggling as such. So again, just to mention to you, it's, as I said, it's a 6-step thing for restoring with our solution stack. With the 365 total backup, you can restore it to the same mailbox, different mailbox, so on and so forth. So as I keep saying, you've got peace of mind that your data hasn't been lost completely. Last but not least, the bishop. So as you're all aware, the bishop moved sideways, and Dr. Rook was unable to do any sort of exfiltration or deleting any of the data. So what does he want to now do? He wants to damage Freelon's reputation. So what does he do? He starts writing fraudulent messages to their business contacts, telling them that, this is all wrong and this is all, make claims and so on and so forth. And what does he do? He uses Alfred's email, for example, and he tries and spoofs it. So you can send mass emails to all the competitors with a standard script, and then see what sort of negative impact the business is going to get on reputation and so on. So what happens then? As you can see, he's just drafted an email, he's just created a script, and he's about to send it out. But lo and behold, we have also in our solution stack a product called DMARC Manager. And what does that do? That then turns around and says, because John's installed this again onto the system, it will not allow those emails to go through because it's not part of the permissions that John has set in DMARC. If it's a specific email that is being sent from a specific domain and an email server out, and it's not listed in the DMARC policy, it will not get sent out. So again, once again, John and his team have done a brilliant job to try and suffocate Dr. Rook's thing of sending emails out, and it's stopping from that to happen as such. Once again, DMARC is part of our TP4 plan, but I will go that in a little bit more detail. Part of the CP, it just shows you a breakdown of what's there and what's not there. So as you can see here, what is being identified and what has been rejected by the DMARC policy. So you can see there's a number of different email servers that the business uses. Some of them have said no, that's you can't use it, and some you've got approvals to get it sent out. This could be very easy, and you can easily uncover an email source. So what we recommend is to make sure that your SPF records are up to date and your DKIM signatures are working properly as such. So that's our four main products, and that's why we say Checkmate in 4 moves. And I'm just going to go a little bit into depth about the little bit more about our platform. So as I started off with, Permission Manager, it's customers who got SharePoint, who've got Copilot. How are we blocking certain data from being retrieved? So this is basically trying to lock your SharePoint down. You get real-time detections and remediations, teams and alerts. This is just a very small snapshot of what the product does, but it's probably one of our biggest sellers because we're having a lot of partners, customers coming to us saying, "Oh, we've deployed Copilot, but the security permissions are all over the place. This is a really good tool to try and lock all this down." Again, down the line, if you guys need to have a demonstration about this and anything of that sort, please let me know, and we can always set that up by Renaissance. So this is just a simple breakdown of our compliance filter, which is called spam and malware. And what we've done over the recent period is we've now got MX and API integration within the spam and malware protection product to provide maximum security. As per the thing, it gives you effective detection of threats, via malware, phishing, so on and so forth. And then there's a compliance filter that we've added in for advanced policies as such. This is again what the dashboard looks like, and it tells you in a colorful format what's kind of accessible, what's internal, what's a little bit of a threat, so on and so forth. So that's number 2. Number 3 is our 365 total backup solution. So if you guys are all aware, this has come from our Altaro days, the Altaro solution. We've integrated that into the Hornet stack, and that's why, of course, it's in orange. So a lot of partners realize that. And it, again, same sort of thing, gives you automated backup of 365. And now we've just, I think it's been a couple of months, we've got Entra ID, unlimited storage, fast and granular recovery. And this is what, as I said, the screenshot looks like. And the last thing on one of the 4 moves is DMARC Manager. So again, detecting domain spoofing from outside the company. What it does is it's a very pretty decent tool, the DMARC product that we have. So you can actually see, what's inside into your emails being sent using your company's domain names, provides analysis. So we give you a proper reporting about DMARC, about what is approved, what has been denied, and the reasons why it's been done. Again, this is something that's now coming up quite often because of Microsoft and Google's approach to having the settings to be done. I'm just going to cover our full stack, as I mentioned to you. So this is post, of course, post attack. The security team looks at everything. So we have, as I mentioned to you at the start, 4 plans. The first plan is spam and malware, email encryption, and signature and disclaimer, which is this is our product called Total Protection Business. So you just get the 3 products. Historically, that's been good with the spam and malware, as you know, as cyber criminals have become more and more clever. It's not the only thing you need, unfortunately. So what we then did was, some time back, we then put in a new plan 2, which is Total Protection Enterprise. You get the 6 products on that. Everything, all the brains of the outfit is in our Total Threat Protection product set. So it's got a lot more features in there. But of course, you get the email archiving, email continuity. In case your emails go down with 365, you've got a substitute there where your emails are still being stored. And then as soon as the 365 opens up again, as you're all aware, sometime back, Microsoft had an outage. This is a really good stack to get. So we tend to push plan 2 for some time, but since then, what has happened is we've incorporated a backup into our stack. So this is Total Protection Enterprise Backup, of course. So you get all 9 products, and this is where all the juicy bit about the backup, which I've just covered, comes into play, where you get automatic backup for Teams, OneDrive, SharePoint, so on and so forth. It's all backed up for you. The biggest piece right now we're getting is in our compliance product. And this is where you get your security awareness, which I'll talk about, Permission Manager, which I've just spoken about, and the DMARC. And then you've got a few other tools as well, which I will cover just now, about AI recipient validations, Teams protection, and of course, AI email security analyst. Bit of a mouthful, but this is part of the AMI package. So what is Freelon going to be doing to increase the level of security even more? Of course, as we're all aware, you can never get 100% security. So the thing is, let's get defense in depth. We've covered quite a bit. It's protecting a lot of bits for Freelon in terms of email backup, SharePoint, and so on. But what else can we as a business offer you as a partner to provide this onion layer? I would say. So the first thing that comes to mind is our security awareness service. It's a product that we bought, and we built it from ground up. It's a little bit different to the other solutions out there because this is literally a plug and play product, and you install it and away, and you let it run. You're all aware humans are the biggest security risk. Probably 6 or 7 out of 10 attacks are from ransomware attacks are from malicious emails or phishing or so on. This is a tool that we're bringing to the market, and as what it says, behaves like a real attacker. You can create individual phishing attacks for different difficulty levels for your customers, and then it gives you an automatic creation dispatch as well. So we've got, technically speaking, we've got 7 levels, but once you reach level 5, 6, and 7, basically what we then do is we try and connect up. If you're a partner of ours and a customer of ours, and the customer is using email security product of ours, we can connect that to the phishing simulation, and then it starts to learn as how you're using your emails, how you're corresponding, so on and so forth. But as you can see, level 1, simulation of spam attacks. Level 2 is impersonation, level 3, and then it starts building up. The more cleverer, the more you realize that I'm starting to pick up these phishing attacks, the more harder the next email comes. And that's, again, all automated. The system realizes that you're now becoming a bit clever. You can start detecting issues, and then it moves up the chain. Excuse me. So just a simple example of what sort of automated generated email, automized generated email comes in. Is it valid? It's not valid, so on and so forth. So it just becomes clever as you're going along. What we've done with our product also, of course, is we also provide you with over 50 awareness modules. This is getting more and more as we go down the line, and it just teaches the employee how to detect phishing attacks, how to detect something that's not the norm as such. It's not, and we have it over, I think it's 27 different languages, and we're trying to build every module we create. We try and create it into multiple languages. So again, you have a chance, you go through the video. Sorry, my mistake. I went a bit too fast. You go through the training modules. It'll show you where, what you've missed. For example, if you've clicked on an email and it's a phishing email that's come from the business, it'll pick it up. It'll tell you what you need to do or what you don't need to do as such. So that's something that we're doing. We're providing you, of course, with all our products. There's always a dashboard. there's always a reporting engine at the back as well. So we do the same thing for the awareness dashboard for your customers as well. We can group them into different, marketing, sales, accounts, so on and so forth. And we call something called the ESI, the Employee Security Index, where you can actually see how well your customer is doing, whether he's clicking on so many emails, he's not, how's the trend, and so on. We kind of promise to say that we'll take you above the 70% threshold within a year. So we give you that sort of promise as well. So if you've got any other questions on this, of course, we can run a demo. We can give you potential trial to run it on your customer base and then see what sort of information comes out of it. As per the slide, it does the reporting is history, trends, KPIs. How well is your customer doing? We are coming up with some more extra information as well that we can pull in a CSV file, and it'll actually tell you how well compared to your colleagues, how well you're doing as well, how much reporting you're doing. So we're getting more and more in depth, and we're giving you more and more options and customization, of course, as well. I also wanted to talk to you, and I slightly mentioned it. Amy, it's our newest tool that we're bringing to the market, and it's your AI assistant. Simply, it's a group of tools that just helps you, the partner, or the customer with a couple of the extra bits that are currently in the market that are causing a little bit of an issue. So as I mentioned to you, Amy is our suite of AI tools that help CISOs, administrators just make the product better for your customers so that you don't get technically breached and so on. So I'll start off with Amy, with your cyber assistant. Now, this is a tool that, again, all works at the back end. It's all AI driven, and it just looks at your emails. It looks at in real time, picks up anomalies, and stops fraudulent emails or fraudulent attempts from your targeting your employees as such. So again, it's a brand new tool that we brought out maybe 6-8 months ago, and it starts to learn how you're working and how you're detecting and so on, and it'll bring up, as you can see this on the left-hand side, if it's a fraudulent email, in real time, it'll tell you the reasons why it's a fraudulent email if you click on the button, and give you the information so you can start learning as well. It's all about learning at the end of the day. So yeah, as I mentioned to you, it just tells you, there's a malicious email, what do you need to do, and so on. So again, once again, this is for teams, for example, for users, for administrators. It's a little bit more than just a standard tool. It just helps you. It's a cybersecurity assistant, as mentioned here, your AI assistant. So it just simplifies everything from threat management, in-depth attacks, and just gives you analysis of what's going on and not. We are starting to again see a lot of uptake on this as well, because people are starting to see the benefits this makes, and this has. So how can Amy help you? Simple as empowering users. Simply, if you keep reporting suspicious emails immediately. Offload your SOC and IT teams, focus on the essentials, of course, and strengthen your security, real-time automated feedback. So as soon as something happens, it'll just flash up. It'll tell you something is wrong, and we can go from there. Final piece of the puzzle. I just wanted to talk to you. This is more for partners. We have a tool called Multi-Tenant Manager for MSPs. It's a tool that we brought out some time back again. And again, this is just helping the partner help your customer's entire tenant. How do we help this? So this product is simply there to verify tenant security, best practices. We all know that we have one customer with a golden tenant. What we can do with this product is you can replicate that amongst your other customers, and it just provides a layer at the top. So again, we're seeing a bit of an uptake on this as well. If there's any questions, give us a shout, let us know, speak to the Renaissance team, and go from there. So I'm a little bit probably ahead of time. So I'll just, as I said, this is the final piece of the products we sell via distribution, of course, through Renaissance. And if you've got any questions, queries on any of the products, I probably went a little bit quick, but again, we're more than happy to run a demo with you so you can actually see the product work, because, half an hour to do 15, 18 products sometimes is not enough. But yeah, that's where we live right now. Finally, I'm just going to finish off and say thank you very much for having me. And I'm a little bit ahead of time, but yeah, I think we have
Thank,
10 minutes or 8 minutes for
th-
questions.
Thank you very appreciate that. Grab yourself a glass of water there. Yeah, a lot to go through. Speed reading for slides, but it's it is interesting actually when if you even look at the second last slide there, just the one before that, the number of modules that have evolved, if you like, in terms of the whole Hornetsecurity platform, and what we're seeing is as a distributor for working with Hornet, we're seeing a real uptake. More and more organizations, as the cyber challenge becomes more sophisticated, they're deploying more and more modules to try to protect themselves and protect their customers, indeed, as service providers. But so we're just seeing the evolution and the development of that whole platform. Um, if you like, approach is absolutely the way the marketplace is going, because there are so many different elements to keeping everybody cyber secure and compliant. And I appreciate your explanation of Evilgenics and poor old Dr. Rook as well. I'm sure there are a number of Dr. Rooks that all of the people who are on this session can identify from time to time, who've been doing strange things. But anyway, listen, there are a number of questions here. And perhaps if I can throw a couple of those questions to you, Viral. But in the meantime, if anybody's any questions, please raise them as well, and so we can get through them, because it is really important that we answer the questions that you have, so they're more relevant to you. But the question here, is the M365 Permission Manager the same as the Proofpoint tools? And I guess that raises another question too. Hornetsecurity is part of Proofpoint, so it's a global business you're dealing with here.
That's correct. No, our tool is completely separate to what the Proofpoint product is. So it's a Hornet solution stack. Of course, they're going to incorporate some of our lovely products into their platform, Permission Manager probably being one of them, because of the simplicity of the product as such. But no, they're two separate engines altogether. It's not a Proofpoint product that's been brought into Hornet. It's going to be actually the other way around. They're going to be taking Permission Manager into their SMB platform as such.
Okay, and again, it probably raises an interesting question. There's a lot of the elements of that Hornet have developed and brought to the market are being brought now into the Proofpoint stack, and it shows you I guess the strong position that Hornet was in all of the time in terms of its technology solutions that have been available to the channel for many years. But just a question here as well. You showed 4 ways Hornetsecurity stops the attacker. But ultimately, I guess the question is how would you prevent or detect the initial account takeover in the first place, rather than actually stopping them at that point?
So I'll be honest with you, there isn't where I'd say we're assuming that the account has been compromised. But what we want to try and do is we want to try and tell partners about the defense in depth. When it first happens, first line of defense fails, what's the next thing? So before a takeover, there's a likelihood that the user been compromised. Security awareness for me probably is the main one, is to talk to them about security awareness, are making the employee or the customer aware that just don't click on everything as such. Try and be a little bit careful. Think about what you're doing before. As I mentioned to you in my slide deck, Michael, 6 out of 10 happen from of those attacks happen from phishing or malicious emails. So if we can teach a customer about teaching them how to detect fraudulent emails coming in, that would be probably my first bet. But of course, you're not going to get 100%, as I mentioned to you also on the slide some time back. We're not saying we're 100% protective. We're not, but we've got tools in our arsenal that can help that from happening as such. That's probably the bigger question coming through
Yeah.
from there. And
it is interesting when you talk about security awareness and the whole human risk area is a massive area, I guess. As I've often say in presentations, hands up anybody who hasn't clicked on the wrong link by accident.
Yeah.
I think we've thankfully gone past the days when we're saying these people were silly. The bad guys are very good at sending very, very, very effective and very, very well developed messages which they emulate reality really, really well. In fact, I think in some cases, because there's no mistakes in them, that's the only way you identify them. Reality has more mistakes sometimes than the bad
Totally.
guys.
Totally.
But yeah,
Agree with you on that one.
yeah. But we've all done it. A question here: if the attacker is already inside Microsoft 365 using a legitimate session, which Hornet security control is the most important?
I'll be honest with you. Unfortunately, this again sits that there is no single control. And that's the whole reason of this whole discussion, Checkpoint in 4 moves. We have products there in our arsenal, of course. We've got permission manager, we've got DMARC, we've got the compliance tools, and we've got AI assisted protection. It's just there so that we have multiple layers. It's the onion layer, as mentioned to you. It's multiple layers of defense rather than a single point of failure. So for me, it's not just saying, oh yeah, email security is going to do the trick. Could have happened that 10 years ago. Yeah, that probably is now. But as you've just covered as well, Michael, cyber security, criminals have become more clever. So they're getting it from different angles. So we've got to try and protect the entire ecosystem rather than just one point of entry, is probably what I would say on that.
Yeah, and I think as you say, it's peeling back an onion. There are multiple levels, and that's what we have seen in the market is that yes, organizations may have had an email gateway product, they may have had a backup product, but they haven't had them linked together, if you like, in one platform. And the other modules that people are, I guess we have seen this the over the years working with Hornetsecurity that organizations are deploying more and more modules to actually give that level of comprehensive protection. But that we've also seen organizations moving when they had one or two modules or separate solutions there to actually put in the platform-based approach so that it's more effective in terms of their customers and their clients and making sure that everybody's more protected. I don't have any other questions at the moment. Then there's no other open questions, and there's nothing looking like that's coming through there. So, what I would say to anybody is, uh, contact any of the Renaissance team. Indeed, you probably know the Renaissance team very well. I see Michelle is sitting on the session here. I'm sure she'll be in touch with most of you. Most of you may know Michelle anyway. And Michelle focuses on Hornet security from a Renaissance point of view and works very, very closely with the Hornet team. So it's if you contact any of the Renaissance team, indeed any of the Hornet team, we can get a demonstration or make available an option to have a look at how this works for you in some of your customers, your clients' accounts. And I think, you said that they can also downloading a sample. If they have a sample client, they can try out some of these as well.
Definitely, we're more than happy to help you guys, the partners, with your customer base. And we, as I said, Michael just alluded to, we work really closely with Michelle. So anything you guys have, you want to test the product out to a customer, a trial for a customer, just let us know. We're more than happy to help out. Yeah. and
And
provide that.
yeah, and if anybody sends an email to sales@renaissance.ie, and we can redirect it to Michelle and get it to the right people and get all the relevant people. We indeed also have technical resources who can help you in setting this up and running through this. So there's no difficulty. It's very important from our point of view that we're helping people become cyber secure and compliant and helping them become more protected for themselves and indeed for their clients. So unless there's anything else, Verl, you'd like to add, I'd really just like to thank everybody for attending today. Hopefully you can go and grab a coffee or a tea. And this session will be made available as a recorded session, so you can have a look through it again, and you can please share it with any colleagues or people that you wish to share it with and want to get any information. And we're delighted to have a conversation with any of them also, I think, Verl, yeah?
Yes, definitely. Thank you, Michael. Yes, exactly. And any questions, queries you have about the product, just get in touch with the Renaissance team, and we'll be happy to help you guys.
Thank you very much, everybody.
Thank you.